I suppose we should do the commentary thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're starting. We're starting. All right, here we are. Kefka at Narshe Tournament number 2. Swiss stage round 3. We have two of the top runners right here. We have TheLCC and Yagamoth going up against each other. Both are 2-0. Both putting out some of the best times for the tournament so far. LCC, of course, the favorite for the taking the whole tournament, as he has multiple world records in this game. Yeah, Yagamoth is starting off a little bit weird here. I guess he misclicked. So we're starting out here in Narshe. The players set up their battle speed 2-6, which is the slowest one, because battle speed only influences enemies in this game. And what they are going to be trying to do here is they're going to try to make Veg and Wix run, so that our question mark character here will get all the experience from these battles. But Yagamoth, unfortunately, they want to use Bioblaster in order to have a long animation to make them run away, but unfortunately Yagamoth misclicked on Noise Blaster, I believe, and confused the enemy instead, so that's sadly a bit of time lost right there already.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate, especially when you're up against an opponent like LCC, who his average time for this tournament is better than everybody's personal best so far in the tournament as well. So Yaga's up against a monster here.
Excuse me?
So Yagamoth, his path to 2-0 here. His first opponent, I believe... I know his second opponent was Puexel. That was actually a very close back and forth race. And then his first opponent was Serge Benamo 31, where we've got LCC. His first opponent was Dustin. And then LCC's second opponent, well, I'll let him tell you about how that match went.
That was a fun match, but we both had bad runs at least, so I guess that's good. But yeah, I had to fight LCC in round 2, and sadly couldn't defeat him. But Yagamoth is going to avenge me, right?
Yeah, the first turn confuser was all a part of the plan.
So yeah, coming up here we have the little Final Fantasy introduction boss that teaches you about the battle system for the game. In this game we of course have the ATB system, and it's none other than Welk. So what you're supposed to do in this battle, after a short amount of time when Welk's ATB fills up, more specifically the shell's ATB, this boss has two parts to it, the front and the shell. Once the shell's ATB fills up, he's supposed to hide the front part in the shell, so that you have to wait until it comes back out. But they are both going to try to circumvent that by using something called weight tricking. So Terra is going to do 2 tech missiles here, and as you can see, whenever an animation is going on, they are going into some sort of menu to stop the ATB from actually advancing. And then on the second tech missile, they do want to trigger a counterattack here from the shell. What that does is the shell is full ATB and gets hit. And instead of actually triggering that Welk will hide inside the shell, the counterattack will take the ATB action away, which we call counter canceling. So that will never happen, and you get a quick kill here. LCC, of course, with a very good setup for that. Unfortunately for Yagamoth, he messed up a little bit here, apparently. That's not good. That is just a time loss. You're not really in danger of dying here, unless Welk is being a jerk in the first turn. Welk has an attack that can slow characters, which is called Slime. As you can see, one of Yagamoth's characters currently flashing white there. If that hits Terra, that could be an issue, but yeah. He gets down Welk as well. It's already a good 30-second difference here, so he's got some catching up to do. Not impossible, though. This is a long run, about 1.5 hours, so there's still plenty of RNG, plenty of fights to come. Not over by a long shot.
there are definitely quite a few points in this run where the game can just decide, hey, you're going to be sitting here for a minute and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yep. I mean, we're hoping that we won't see that for both runners, because those kind of situations are usually very, very dangerous, but yeah. So now I already called her Terra. We're going to actually get to name her. What the runners will do for naming characters, since this game draws out the text, it is faster to rename to one-letter characters because you save a good amount of time by doing that.
It's pretty remarkable the amount of time that's saved. You know, somebody who maybe doesn't normally speedrun, it's not something you really think about. You know, the drawing of every time a character says something, you know, it mentions their name, so it adds up over the course of an hour and a half.
Definitely. I believe it's a frame per letter or something. Is it? Or two? I don't remember quite exactly, but that adds up quite significantly because we have a lot of text going on.
I honestly don't remember either, but it does add up for sure. It's a difference of like multiple seconds over the course of the run.
No. Okay, so now we have to escape here, and in this sequence, we're going to see 4 encounters. We do want to get Terra to level 6. The main reason for that is she does learn Antidote on that level, but the main reason is the next party members that join based on average party level for the most part. The next one is going to join based on Terra's party level, obviously. So in order to boost the level basically for free, we want to have Terra as high as possible. And that's why we're going to be forcing an encounter even at the end of the segment here. What we should also see, since both runners are probably going to use step routing, we should see the same encounters for both runners. They are both using a very specific encounter seed they set up before the race in order to exactly know what type of encounters they get when. That also means, though, that they can only make a few slight mistakes here and there in very specific spots in order to maintain that step route. So we'll have to see how that goes for both runners.
Yeah, unlike the previous Final Fantasy games, there's a little bit of leniency in the amount of steps you can take and where. That's mostly due to the fact that there's a reset point in the middle of at least the Kefka and Narshe, and I believe there's also further reset points in the actual full game categories. And the way that this game does encounters is it actually has not only in previous Final Fantasies, it's based off of a threat or just a specific step count will give you an encounter. It's like that in Final Fantasy 3 on the NES, as well as Final Fantasy 4. But I think Final Fantasy 5 and Final Fantasy 6 start using a specific value called threat generation, where depending on what tile you step on, you get more threat versus less, and it's a little more in-depth than the previous versions. So this cutscene right here, where Terra is burninating the countryside, you can actually gain or lose frames based on which random soldier Terra decides to target. If she targets a front soldier, you save time, but LCC obviously got a back soldier, so frames lost.
I have never noticed that. That's fascinating. You would figure, I've been speedrunning this game for like 4 years now, you figure I'd know that, but I didn't know that. I actually did not know that. That's fascinating.
Learn something new every day.
That's crazy. How did I not know that? Oh, Yaga's catching up. He's catching up! That's crazy. I didn't think about that even. I don't know. It's the little things in this run, really, that make a difference. Like, every encounter actually also matters. You wouldn't think, like, okay, they just need to run away from every encounter every single time. You know, the same thing is going to be the same amount of time. That's not true. Like, encounters will take different amounts of time depending on your starting ATB, and whether it is a back attack, a pincer, whatever, you name it. So yeah, everything matters. Every little thing culminates into time.
Yeah, this especially in this run, there's a lot of like minor menuing things you can do to, just being fast in the menu is obviously good, but there's just little things you can do here and there that speed up your menu time. And then also you can buffer your inputs as you're exiting a battle or exiting a cutscene or even a screen transition. As long as if you know which way you're going, you can like hold that direction down, and that actually saves you time because you start moving before the screen actually fully loads. So this is definitely a game that favors the people who have more experience in it. But of course, practice makes perfect.
All right, and we are coming up to the next segment here, which is, this is one of the really, really nice things that FF6 introduced. We are going to have a multiple party battle here. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to defend Terra against all the soldiers that are going to come running up here, and you're supposed to like cut off all three ways with the three parties and then fight all the guys until you can go to the boss. However, we're a bit impatient, so what we are going to do instead is we're just going to skip over all of these guys that are running towards us and just go to the boss just straight up. The way we do that is whenever they take a step forward, they don't actually have a hitbox for the encounter to start, so you can just go run beside them. And we are taking Mock's party here. Mock is actually the Moogle that we are supposed to get later as a party member. So what we can do here, not only is he very, very strong for the boss fight here against Marshall, but he also has a mithril pike and a mithril shield, and since he is supposed to be a party member that we can get later, well, we can just steal the mithril pike from him. So, and that's a pretty decent weapon for the start of the run here. LCC got a pretty decent fight. He got netted on one of his Moogles, but that's not the worst. Let's see how Yaga does here. Marshall has 420 HP, by the way, for those who like to meme. And yeah, what you want to do is attack with Mock twice with the pike and then unequip him. Kupan has a boomerang, which also does a decent amount of damage. The other two are supposed to just kill the logos. They are also try to run away at the start of the battle. Ooh, Yaga, no! Okay, we got the pike. We got the items. We got the items. Not getting the items is it's a marginal time loss, but it's still a time loss, so you definitely want to get those. You can work around not having them, but it's yeah, not very fun.
Yeah, that battle can be pretty trolly if the Marshal decides he wants to stop Mog, because then you have to, not only do you lose your primary damage dealer, but you also have to either skip getting the items or you have to wait to pick up the items off of Mog, which obviously wastes time.
Yeah, waiting is not recommended in a race situation. So yeah, now moving on the world map here, you kind of saw these tiles, or like the tiles that were a little brighter than the others. On the edges of those, on the world map, generally speaking, there are tiles that actually do not advance your step counter. So what the runners will try to do on the world map, whenever there's like these light patches there, they will try to hit like edges of those that have these no encounter tile, or no these tiles that don't advance the step counter, in order to save a couple steps here and there. And now we're on towards the cutscene boss. This is probably the longest part in the run without action. Fortunately, it's 15 minutes in, but yeah, we have about 5 minutes of cutscenes coming up here, introducing two new characters. First of all, the King of Figaro, Edgar, which is going to be pretty important. He's going to be our main damage dealer for the next 20 minutes. And later on, we'll also get to rename his brother Sabin. So right about now, we have about a 30-second difference. Again, that's not too bad. You don't want to lose those right out the gates. I can speak from experience there. It's not good, especially against a runner like LCC. You want to like save every single frame you can, but yeah, it's not over yet. It's not over yet.
One thing I recently learned is you can walk straight down out of the throne room. You don't have to walk to the middle. Saves us an extra step there.
Yep.
I never knew this whole time.
I learned that recently too. But I guess, yeah, it's been, like, a lot of minor optimizations have been, well, I mean, not even discovered recently, but, like, they because of the tournaments, there's a lot of people picking up on this kind of stuff. Of course, LCC probably knew about all of this before any of us, but, yeah.
Yeah, the Final Fantasy VI speedrunning community is actually pretty small. You know, for as popular a game Final Fantasy VI is, there's probably, you know, maybe 5 active runners at any given time. You know, some will give up the game and move on to other games, and then others will join the community. But I don't really think I don't recall a time where Final Fantasy VI was hot and happening and highly contested.
Me neither.
So I did see a question in chat that said, what are the 2 PBs for these 2 runners? I do believe the LCC's his tournament PB, at least, is a 1 hour, 24 minute, and 7 second Kefka at Narshe time. And Yagamoth, in his race against Coexel, had a 1 hour, 26 minute, and 45 second time. So LCC's got about a 2.5 minute PB advantage. Obviously, anything can happen in any of these runs, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but LCC does have the PB edge.
Yep. Again, though, this is the beauty of no reset runs. One thing goes wrong, and you can't change it. So it's not even going to necessarily take LCC to make a mistake. He could just get bad luck, and all of a sudden, it will all turn against him. Okay, so here we are introduced to the main antagonist, not only of this specific category, but the whole game. This is Kefka. Unfortunately, LCC did not get the staring contest. How that works is you're supposed to talk to both soldiers, and then in this game, a very nice thing you can do, actually, instead of like just mashing A to activate text, or like repressing A to talk to a NPC, you can actually just hold A and look into his direction, and then it will trigger the text box, which is really nice, and you can force a staring contest that way if you just do it right. But yeah, both runners just getting one soldier to look their way. I mean, I don't know. Should we disqualify them now?
I don't know, man. That's a good example of the small optimizations you can do, but being able to buffer entering a dialogue or triggering an event with A, like opening a treasure chest. It's just another way you can save frames.
Yep. Yagamoth timer is 0.03 of a second too fast. Oh man.
Can confirm, actually. So the upcoming boss battle here really doesn't teach you anything. There's really no real point to it, all things considered.
It teaches you that the auto crossbows are good. That's about it. I guess this is also the first forced back attack in the game, so I guess if you haven't seen that before, that's kind of something new, I suppose. But
That's
yeah.
true.
And of course, there's like the infamous cutscene that you can get here that the runners will try to avoid, of course, because we don't like cutscenes in speedruns. But yeah, in the next fight, starting in the next fight, and until the next town, if you cast magic with Terra, there's supposed to be, or there will be a cutscene where Edgar and Locke will be talking about magic. Which we, of course, we don't want to see that, so we're not going to cast any magic with Terra. Oh, also, this castle can submerge, obviously. Which castle can't?
Yeah, you know, stone catches on fire, castles burrowing underground, you know, standard procedure. Alright, so we've got these two soldiers in Magitech armor. Fortunately, as was mentioned earlier, auto crossbow is ridiculously overpowered. Both now and even more so later when we'll pick up an accessory to make it even stronger. So 2 auto crossbows is all going to take these guys out.
Yep. A bit of a luck factor here is what attack they use. If they use Tech Laser, that's actually a little... It's not only more powerful, but it's a little longer of an animation. So LCC got 2 metal kicks there, which is pretty nice for him. Saves a little bit of time right there. See how Yaga does.
I do believe if you're incredibly unlucky and you get 2 tech lasers targeted on Terra, she can die.
Yep. There's 1 tech laser. Here's another tech laser. Oh man. Okay, yeah, these tech lasers are actually reasonably powerful. If you actually didn't level in the first part of the game, this can be quite difficult, especially if tech laser hits Terra. If she's like level 4, which she's just supposed to be roughly, she can get 1 shot. Not that that happened to me in casual play ever, but yeah, that's how you can die here.
Here we've got another cutscene. Someone mentions that magic isn't normal. Nobody's ever born with the ability to cast magic. And then Terra's like, wait, what? But then we just move on with our lives, you know? No big deal.
No. Okay, worth mentioning, we were on a chocobo there. You can get them in a couple cities in the game. Or I guess towns. They are not really cities, I suppose. And if you ride a chocobo, you don't advance the step counter, obviously. So what's going to be happening from here on out? We like our levels, so we still want to push our party level for a higher average for the next character. So what the runners are going to do, they are going to be fighting most of the encounters for the next dungeon, and well, the next 2 dungeons if you count this as a dungeon. Yeah, simply to raise that average party level. They, of course, since they are on step route, know exactly what's coming on to them, and there's a back attack for LCC, so that's a little bit of time for Yagamoth there potentially to catch up. Back attacks in this game are actually not even that bad, to be honest with you. The only thing that it really does is give you automatically bad starting ATB. That's really the enemy, though, can also still have bad starting ATB, and you can go before it, like even in the back attack, so it's not even necessarily that bad a thing. The real worst thing in this game is pincer attacks, which I do hope we don't actually get to see one of those in an encounter we don't want it, but we'll see.
I do believe this is the first Final Fantasy game to introduce pincer attacks.
Yep. Alright, I mentioned the tiles earlier. You can see they are trying to cut the edges here as best they can to get these tiles that don't advance the step counter. LCC, of course, doing a very good job there. And yeah, you've been noticing we've been walking for a very long time. Unfortunately, this game does have dashing, but in order for you to dash, you actually have to equip a relic called Sprint Shoes, and we're going to buy 3 pairs of them here. That is mainly because in the second part of the run, we will have 3 different types of scenarios coming up. So, and that means we have 3 different parties, so we need 3 different types of sprint shoes, or pairs of sprint shoes. This is a very unfortunate mechanic in this game that they rectified and re-releases, really. But, yeah. For now, we gotta cope with it.
Yeah, once equipping the sprint shoes, the step route gets much harder to maintain, obviously, because you're walking at least twice the speed. So if you make a misstep, it's a little easier to just run off in one direction you don't want to go.
Okay, so we have in Mount Colts, again, I said that they are going to fight most of the encounters. These brawlers right here, we, I believe, see 4 formations of those. They are an exception because they don't give good experience. And the step route is routed in a way where you can skip those, and 2 encounters at the very end, so we'll see. If they make missteps, though, and get an encounter on a screen they are not supposed to, they will start seeing different formations. For now, both runners are good, though. And it's still a 30-second difference by roundabout, so yeah. Now, what we want to see on these brawlers is ideally preemptive attacks. Preemptive attacks will let you run away immediately, so that'd be really nice. LCC is fighting a big formation right now, and this is the one formation where he's going to try to make only one character run away here, namely Locke. Didn't quite get it. What you want to do that in one of these big formations. There's, I believe, 3 of them total in this mountain, and Locke doesn't need as much experience as Edgar and Terra do. So by making Locke run away in one of those, you will boost Edgar's and Terra's experience a little further, or faster, and you'll still be fine at the end. Yaga also still on step route. Let's see if he gets a little bit more lucky than LCC does with Locke running away. Yaga gotta be careful. This Terra is a bit low on HP there. You kind of want to be careful with that. If a character dies right now, we don't really have access to Phoenix Downs at this point, so you kind of want to try and stay healthy.
So LCC able to get Locke to run away in the second 4-pack, so he'll be good on experience there.
No. And LCC's already on the last screen of this mountain, fighting Trilliums. Trilliums are the worst. They don't give very good experience, but there's just a lot of formations with them right here, so they are in the step route. What you want to do is you want to run away from 2 packs of them. I believe we'll see 4 in total. And the problem with Trilliums is that they can poison you. Ooh, that's a crit on Terra, so LCC will definitely heal after this one. I can't imagine he will try to dare it. But yeah, if they poison you, you have to use Antidote with Terra. Yep, there is the tonics from LCC, which is a minor time loss right there. But yeah, let me I can speak from experience when I say poison is no fun.
Yeah, in your run, I learned that poison maintains throughout the entirety of the game if Terra gets poisoned.
Yeah. I mean, I could have cured it, but in a race, you kind of want to try to not do extra menus, especially if you're up against LCC.
Yagamoth taking that to heart, as his Terra still has 54 HP, living life on the edge a little bit.
I think both runners didn't get any preemptives, which is a bit surprising. Usually the game is kind of nice about that sort of thing.
Yaga got a side attack, so he's got 1 under his belt.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, it's pretty surprising. Aha! Haha!
Speak of the devil.
Ooh, very nice tech there by LCC, if you noticed that he used Steal on Locke there. What that did, actually, so if you have a formation of only 1 or 2 enemies, usually only 1 or 2 characters will run away immediately, and the other one will have a delayed runaway. However, if very specific conditions, you can do something like defending or using like a command like he did there, and the whole party will run away immediately, effectively saving a little bit of time there. But yeah, we're already up to the next boss here.
So Vargas is pretty much just do as much damage as possible and get to the cutscene where Sabin appears. But one thing you can do if you are very experienced with this fight is you can attempt to manipulate the fight to where you do enough damage right as Vargas triggers his cutscene. And what that allows to do is skip Vargas's move right after the cutscene occurs, which is Doomfist. You know, depending on how the ATB plays out, you have to react and do a specific amount of weight tricking, and hopefully you skip Doomfist in the end. It's definitely easier said than done.
No, I think LCC is just going to try to force an immediate Doomfist here. He didn't weight trick at the end there. Which, again, it's just like, depends on how the first part of the fight goes, whether you kind of want to try to force the Doomfist, like let the ATB run, or whether you want to weight trick, so you can't really choose. Alright, and with that, Vargas goes down at 31-29 for LCC. That's a pretty good time, especially considering that he didn't exactly have the best of luck here. Yeah, I guess not that far behind, though. Also got the immediate Doomfist, which is not too bad. And now the pummel to finish it off, so... it's about a good minute at this point, 55 seconds. Again, you see LCC trying to hug those no encounter tiles on the world map here. There should only be one more encounter here before the return is side out that we're moving towards. If you take a couple extra steps, you would get another encounter here, so LCC did very well and didn't. Now the return is hideout. There's a funny thing that can happen here. If your meshing is good, it will never happen, but you see that guy on the right of LCC screens there that just walks up and down. If you are on a bad value on your NPC movement, he will get in your way when the one NPC is trying to direct you to Bannon here, and that will effectively softlock the game. It's a very, very rare occurrence. We have had it happen in the tournament once, I believe, though, so far, so yeah, that's just kind of unfortunate. If you do the step routing, usually your NPC value, if you don't have any holdups, will be set up in a way where that can't happen, and even if you hit that specific value where it can happen, if you mash properly, you will actually circumvent it. But yeah, we've had it happen once so far. It's no fun, because that means the run is over.
Yeah, poor Nits guy. Free win for his opponent. That was me.
That's right, it was against you. I forgot, yeah. I just saw this guy clip it, and I was like, oh.
You never want to win like that, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, in the hideout here, you get to run around as Terra again, and you have to talk to all party members, and what we're also going to do is we're going to do a couple things. Most notably, we're going to get some Phoenix Downs, which that doesn't sound really exciting, but they are very essential. It's very hard to get a hold of Phoenix Downs in this game without wasting a bit of time, so this is our best bet to get some of those, and LCC is getting trolled! Oh my god! That was vicious. I've never seen an NPC be that trolly before. Dang.
He just really wanted to give him the Genji glove, man.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, so what we're going to do here, we are going to say no. Say no to Bannon, my friends. Say no to Bannon. 3 times, in fact. And then we're actually going to skip the cutscene where they sit down and have a talk about what they want to do, which that already saves time. But not only that, if you do this, you get a relic called the Genji Glove instead of the relic called the Gauntlet. The Genji Glove is by far superior to the Gauntlet. Lets you equip 2 weapons at the same time, so without diminishing, so that's really, really nice. It's supposed to diminish your damage a little bit, but it doesn't really properly work. So we're taking that, obviously. And I mean, Yagamoth seems to be a little bit closer than a minute behind at this point. I guess the NPC trolling really hurt LCC there.
So one thing you're going to see LCC do here is he's going to run up to the save point and save his game. After doing a little bit of menuing, he's going to slap that Genji glove on Edgar. So Edgar's going to use the Mithril Pike we stole from Mog, as well as the blade he came with. And we're going to toss these sprint shoes on Sabin as well. And then you're going to see LCC save, and he's actually going to reset. And he's going to reset twice here. And what that's going to do is going to manipulate the upcoming Elite River. And the Elite River has anywhere from 2 to 9. Actually, it might be 1 to 9.
Yeah, it's 7 quote-unquote random encounters, so it's 9 total, potentially.
Yeah, and so it's a ridiculous potential time loss, but thankfully we're able to watch that NPC right as we exit the screen, and that'll allow us to know what NPC movement value we're entering the Elite River on, and that allows us to manipulate how many encounters we get.
Yeah, because interestingly enough, the first 2 encounters here are always forced, but after that, there's 7 points on this river, where it will look at your NPC movement value, which is interesting that it takes that, but it will look at it, and it will, based on that, give you an encounter or not. So by actually seeing the NPC move in that very specific way, we know, okay, right now we won't get any encounters. It's really interesting that the game does it that way, but yeah. Also, resetting, and why this actually works is resetting also resets your NPC movement value, obviously. Otherwise, this would never work, so yeah. When they see the NPC move on the wooden carpet, they know, alright, now we're good.
You'll notice LCC fought those 2 Pterodons and gave all the experience to Edgar. That's going to bring Edgar to level 12, and that's going to give him a little bit of a damage boost. It'll give him some extra damage against Ultros and some extra damage against Kefka as well.
Yep, some runners in this tournament will choose to actually skip leveling. The original intent of leveling Edgar on the Pterodons, I think Yaga is going to try to skip it here, maybe? No, he's going for it. The original intent of leveling Edgar is really actually for after Kefka at Narshe. There's a segment where you want to be Edgar to be on level 11, but it still helps for this category. Some runners will decide to skip that leveling, though.
And definitely playing with fire, if you do skip it, you do lose out on a little bit of damage on Kefka, and then if things go awry.
Yep, even on Ultros already, which is coming up here, it already makes a slight difference. So, coming up here, this Ultros fight is actually, well, Ultros attacks are scripted, so what the runners are going to be trying to do, his first turn should exactly come up when you attack 3 times here. So after Edgar's attack, he's away tricking and then targeting the fire. Now fire is triggering a counter attack, and if you paid attention at Welk, this is basically a setup for the first counter cancel. So Ultra's ATB filled up, and we are casting fire, in order to cancel out his first attack, which is the scripted attack. So that first scripted attack is still in Ultra script right now. So that's the next thing that should come up. But because we did this counter cancel and his ATB got to waste, we should be able to finish him off before that happens. We'll see if LCC got it. Yep, easy. Easy every time. So we never actually saw Ultra's attack here. It was just very nice. Even if you do get to see these attacks, the first two are not that dangerous. The third one in this battle is a party tentacle, which the little quirk about Bannon that is now in our party is if Bannon dies, it's game over. So yeah, you definitely don't want to see that. Okay, Yagamoth also on there. He's employing a little bit of a different strat here, I believe, from what I'm seeing. Yeah, he casted fire twice, so he's not using the counter cancel. But he should be fine nonetheless. It just wastes a little bit of time to not use the counter canceling strat, but looks good to me. And now, yeah, here we go. We are in the 3 different scenarios, and we're starting out with 7 scenario here. Yagamoth doing just fine on the boss as well. Not too far behind. He's maintaining the difference here, so that's very good for him. And yeah, LCC actually picking up an optional party member here. We are going to pick up Shadow. This is mainly for safety, more or less. Shadow actually speeds up one battle that we're coming up to. Ideally speaking, it would be faster to skip Shadow, but good luck with that. You need insane amounts of luck to not lose time to that, so all runners will be picking up Shadow, no matter what. Not only does it give you safety, but it's just way, way more stable than just trying to skip him.
And you might notice LCC did not rename Shadow. Actually, he took the W off of Shadow, but did nothing else. That's because Shadow only has 2 points in the entire Kefka and Narshe run where he actually says anything. One of them is right when he joins, and one of them is when he leaves. And that's the only time his name is ever mentioned. So it's actually slower to take the time to remove all the letters from his name than it is to just leave it.
Just take away what you can, and then run for it.
So we've got Shadow on LCC side and Shah on Yagamoth side.
Oh yeah, there is a preferred way of doing this, these scenarios. We want to start with Saban's scenario. It's the longest, but it also is the scenario that will give you access to smoke bombs, which immediately lets you run away from battle, no matter what. So even if you get pincered, you will be able to run away by using a smoke bomb, which is why we're doing this first. The other 2 scenarios will not get access to those, and since it's a shared inventory, God bless Final Fantasy, I guess, we will get access to the smoke bombs in the other scenarios too when we buy them in this one. Alright, so on the LCC's stream, we saw already the next character, which is Cyan, and we are going to have a little introductory battle here with him as well. You'll see both runners actually switch to battle speed 1 for this particular fight right here. The main reason is that Cyan has sword text, and his second one, as you can see, he just like goes forward and then steps back. He essentially set up a counter attack here, retort, that will one-shot the leader. And of course, we set it to battle speed 1 so the leader attacks faster. Ooh, he got the Phoenix down. Dang. That's actually a good thing. So the leader also has 2 drops. The 7 and 8 drop is the Black Belt, which is a relic that will let you counter-attack if you equip it at 50% rate, which is pretty nice, but effectively useless for us, really. Black Belt also sells for a good amount of money, so for a full game run, that's really good. For the partial run here, the addition of Phoenix Down is actually not terrible, to be honest with you. Like, that's the rare drop, the 1 in 8 drop from Leader, but yeah.
Yeah, Phoenix Down provides a nice failsafe. If something goes wrong, somebody dies, you need that safety, you have an extra Phoenix Down. Otherwise, all the Phoenix Downs that we've picked up in the route are already planned for, so there's no extras. I don't know what has more cutscenes, either the Imperial Guard camp or Figaro. It's probably pretty close.
I guess the Imperial camp has more, but you have battles in between them, so I guess that's kind of nice.
So here, LCC is about to fight Kefka, and interestingly enough, the battle speed's still on 1. So, we're going too fast. That's actually not true. Kefka's actually in the party right now. For whatever reason, they decided that Kefka is not going to be a typical enemy. He's going to be in the party, I guess probably so they could animate his sprite. And so changing the battle speed does actually not affect Kefka's ATB at all. He's in Final Fantasy VI, changing the battle speed only affects enemies. And because Kefka's a party member, he doesn't care.
Alright, we want to change this before the next fight though, and also, Shadow did come with an armor called the Ninja Gear, which we actually kind of want on Sabin. The Ninja Gear raises your speed. Ooh, that's an amazing preemptive attack. This battle is the one battle, and the big reason why Shadow is so good. There's 4 enemies here, and fighting this with Sabin alone would be a nightmare. Getting a preemptive here is amazing for LCC. These guys, all 4 of them, can counterattack. Even if they die, they have a chance to counterattack before they actually vanish. So LCC got amazing luck there. That was amazing. But yeah, their counterattacks deal, or like even their normal attacks and their counterattacks deal like 50 damage if you're in the front row. So amazingly dangerous if you are alone here.
One other thing that can happen in this fight that Yagamoth's about to enter is if Shadow gets hit, Interceptor has a chance to block and counter, and that can actually save you having to throw the Air Lancet to do the damage, and another preemptive for Yagamoth as well.
Teach me, guys, teach me! That's probably the one battle in this camp that you want the preemptive on, like, the most, and they both got it. That's amazing.
Just gotta see the frame.
And they... yeah, I got 1 counterattack, but that's fine. Oh, man, that's crazy. So yeah, Kefka, the little cutscene before, the general that was overseeing the battles and the siege generally was called back, and Kefka took it upon himself and actually poisoned the water near Doma, and well, the results are very, very sad. As you can see on the LCC screen now. So our man Cyan here lost his family, his kingdom. So what he decides to do is charge onto the Imperial camp all by himself.
When in doubt, go on a murder rampage, man.
Yeah. And yeah, Sabin and Shadow are going to see this, and we're going to be thrown into 3 battles here. with Cyan on our side. However, Cyan is not quite in our party. He's not controllable, so he will decide to do things on his own. You want to see him attack normally, like he did there for LCC. He also has a chance to use his level 1 sword tech this patch, which is a bit of a time loss. One added bonus Cyan has for these 3 battles that we're fighting, though, is that whenever he gets attacked, he has a 50% chance to counterattack. So that's pretty nice. But yeah, other than that, for the first 2 battles, he just want to hold A and pray, really. There's not much else he can do. Now for the 3rd battle, we are going to have I believe he's called a Cadet, yeah. In the back there, which LCC is going to watch what Cyan does, and based on that, he's going to react on it. Alright, so yeah. Based on what Cyan does, who he attacks, you will choose to do a specific, or like, yeah, react properly to it, use a blitz, or maybe even throw something. If he dispatches the Cadet, you can throw a Dirk in order to kill him, and all that good stuff. So yeah, minor optimizations there to pay attention. Not a dangerous fight by any means, or any stretch, but yeah, you kind of want to pay attention there.
Yeah, it's one of the rare occurrences where, you know, actually waiting on a turn will save you time in the long run. Gotta go slow to go fast. So like the beginning of the game, we've got Magitech armor now. We just stole it from the soldiers, and we're just going to plow through a whole bunch of Magitech armors and some other soldiers. We've got a nice toasty fire beam. These fights are pretty straightforward. They can be pincer attacks or back attacks. Actually, can they be back? I'm not sure if they can be back attacks, but they can definitely be pincer attacks.
They can be, which is funny, because they are running towards you, but yeah, sure. They saw the counter from the soldier. Yeah, LCC also doing a little bit of menu management here whenever he can during animations. He's going to try to get the items that he never needs or will not need in the future down and organize a little bit already, which is a very nice way of using his time. Looks like Yagamoth didn't have any trouble either, so he'll be following up the 3-fight gauntlet here after LCC.
Alright, we are through the Imperial Guard camp, and interestingly enough, you're going to see LCC actually avoid the no encounter tiles. That's because in a particular part of the Phantom Train, he's going to want to force an encounter to get a different encounter pack than he would normally get.
Ooh, nice Jinx nerf. Nice
Yo,
Jinx.
I did it.
That's actually reasonably bad, because you have bad starting ATB. LCC, on the other hand, is just getting 2 preemptives like a champion. Well, I guess one was a preemptive, one a side attack, and yeah, that's just quick runaways for him.
Yeah, typically when there's one enemy, if you just defend, you will always run away from the one enemy very quickly. But when there's 2 enemies, that's when it gets complicated. You want to use steel and health and all that crazy stuff. So Yagamoth finishing up the Imperial Guard camp. That's going to be his last fight there, and we're going to go ahead and hop out. Meanwhile, LCC making his way through the Phantom Forest, finds a spooky train. What could it mean?
No escape. Yeah, this is the phantom train that takes the departed to the other world. Yeah, we don't kind of want to go there, really. Ooh, LCC having a bit of trouble with the NPC there. He should be able to clip through the NPC now, though. After this battle. One thing that you can do in this game is, whenever NPCs are moving, the hitbox doesn't shift immediately, but, yeah, there we go. You clip through the NPC. When you do a transition, or a menu, or a battle, well, yeah, effectively a transition, and an NPC close to you is mid-movement, you can clip through it. Ooh, there is a pincer for LCC. While Yagamoth is getting a back attack, so both runners are not really having the best of times right now. Fortunately, most enemies on this ghost train are actually undead, so you can just chuck potions on them and they will die, which is very, very nice. Oh, we get a Franker Z. Nice.
Good Franker Z time waste.
Yep.
And so LCC specifically took an extra step to get that encounter. Had he walked outside and gotten an encounter, it would have been 4 of those Whispers that you saw cast Demi earlier instead of just 1. And that's a nasty encounter you don't want to see again on the belt either, so...
Yeah, we'll explain that when we get to the belt, but... For now, know that we don't want to see bad encounters.
Also, one thing to note is Cyan has one of the slowest runaways out of every character in the game. I think Strago is also the same speed as Cyan.
Yeah.
But it takes him forever to run away from battle, so typically whenever you're trying to run with Cyan in your party, he's usually the last one to leave, and you start to dislike him after you see him running forever.
Alright, Yagamoth just forcing his encounter, and it's a preemptive! That's pretty good. So, yeah, he's making up a little bit of ground right there. Also, both runners want to pay attention to their HP. While we do know what encounters we get here in the train, and why we shouldn't be in danger, there's one enemy in particular that we're going to face 3 times, which is called a bomb. Bombs are really slow. They are also going to be alone. However, they can use an attack called Blaze, which, if they single target that will effectively kill your party member. So they want to stay above 200 HP-ish on Sabin at the very least. Oh, nice side attack for LCC there. That's a nice minor time save. Very good. Also picking up the earrings here. Earrings are an accessory or a relic that boosts your magic power, which some of Sabin's blitzes are based on magic, so... Ooh, nice. Another preemptive. Which, yeah, you pick the earrings up simply to boost Sabin's damage. Jeez. What is he doing? Oh my god.
Just gotta learn to see the frames, man.
Yeah, all these, like Wynerm says this, all these preemptive and back attacks, pincer attacks, they're all frame-based, so you have actually no control over it unless you have frame-perfect movements and all that, but yeah.
LCC suplexing the train for the fans. I never thought I'd see the day.
This, I mean, I've seen it all now. I've seen it all. LCC is a big fan of not doing that. But now I've truly seen it all. So yeah, the suplex is more like a swag thing that doesn't really serve any purpose other than Sabin, like lifting up a train and then suplexing it, I guess. But yeah, most runners will do it just because of that. It's actually a big time waste, honestly. It's like, I believe 10 to 15 seconds that you lose because the train can also counterattack that with a wheel, as you saw. So yeah. But yeah, we're having fun here, so. I'm assuming Yaga's going to do the same thing right here. There we go. One more time.
It actually worked out for Yaga because he wasn't on Phoenix Downs in his inventory and took him about the time of the suplex to get to him, so really didn't waste him any time. Sometimes you just have to pick up a train and drop it.
Yep.
So here Cyan sees his wife and child departing on the Phantom train. He's pretty sad about that. He's so sad that we have about 45 seconds worth of menuing that we can do for free. And so all the time spent in the menu here, LC is going to equip the earring and the True Knight that we picked up from the Materna's hideout onto Sabin. He's also going to do some minor optimizations regarding like cursor placement. So when he enters the menu again, it'll be on equip already, so he can pull the equipment off of Cyan. And when he goes into the item menu, it'll be on potion. So all he has to do is mash A. He doesn't have to think about where his cursor is later on. So now we're coming up on the Barren Falls, and this is where Shadow's like, you know what? I've had enough ridiculousness. I'm done. Ghost Train was okay. You know, we took on a whole guard camp, but jumping down a waterfall, that's too much for me, man. I'm out. So coming up here, we're going to actually have a really interesting glitch with this string of encounters here. Normally the way this works is you fight piranhas for a set amount of time, and then after a certain amount of time passes, a boss piranha spawns named Rizopos, and you have to beat Rizopos. And Rizopos is actually reasonably dangerous. He does a lot of damage and can wipe the party if you're not careful. However, what we're going to do is we're going to kill Cyan instead. And the way this works is once Cyan has died and is resurrected, for whatever reason, if you cast Retort after Cyan is brought back to life, he will counter any physical attack that occurs within the battle, regardless of who it was done on. And so what we're going to do here is we see LCC has murdered Cyan thanks to the piranhas and Sabin. And so he's going to suplex the piranha. This is going to miss, but thankfully Cyan's got this. He's going to retort the piranha. The piranha dies, and then Rizopos doesn't spawn, and the fight's over. What's up with that? So it turns out, if you hit an enemy with both a physical attack, the suplex, and a magical attack, the retort, for whatever reason, retort's magical, the game's AI has no idea how to react to that at all. And so instead of properly calling the boss and having the script proceed as planned, it just gives up and ends the fight. So, well executed from LCC, and that saves a significant amount of time here. And Yagamoth, really not that far behind, executing it as well. And here, LCC has renamed Gao to G. He will be our next party member, and the source of a bit of frustration, depending on what he decides to do.
Let's hope he isn't.
So we've got the retort from Yaga, the suplex, and we are in there.
Very nice. So yeah, as you can hear, the music here on the world map is a little bit different. That's because we are on the part of the world map which is called the Veld. The Veld is a very special area. As you can see, we're fighting enemies that we fought earlier in the game. So how this works is the Velt basically lets you fight all enemy packs that you have seen before in the game, and not defeated but seen. What we're going to see here, since we are step routing, we exactly know what the encounters are that we're going to get here. That pincer that LCC got was part of the script, basically. And it's set up in a way where you get 2 chances after getting to Mobless here, and buying the dried meats. You get 2 chances for Gao to appear in a very quick fight here after this. What you have to do is Gao has a 5 out of 8 chance to appear, I believe, after a battle.
Yeah.
Unless he will appear 5 out of 8 unless one of your characters is dead. It's a back attack, a side attack, or a pincer. So there's the single ghost. So 5 out of 8 for him to appear here, and we need Gao because, well, he will advance the story. That's sadly no good for LCC there. There's also, I believe, 4 specific formations we could encounter if we wouldn't step route. That would also make it impossible for Gao to appear because there would be enemies in the slot that he would be in, which is kind of weird. There he is! Alright, so LCC's not losing time. Well, he lost the time from actually fighting the bomb here, but yeah, that's about it. So that's pretty good luck. He will maintain step route. If you don't get Gao after the second battle here, you have to force an encounter that is not part of the step route, and that obviously wastes time.
Yes, I believe it's a 55 out of 64 chance once you figure in probabilities to end up to get Gao. If you don't get him in the first one, then it's 3/8 times 5/8 for the second one. So you have roughly an 80% chance when you're step routing between these 2 encounters to end up getting Gao. So majority of the time you won't have to force an extra encounter, or then you can have runs like Puexel did, where he's sitting there for 5, 6 encounters and no wild man.
Yep, I know that feel. It's getting especially annoying because the encounters after this are actually packed with enemies too, so you have to try to defeat 3, 4 enemies per battle, and that's really annoying.
Yeah, and one thing to note is right before the Baron falls, if you make a mistake in your step route, if you take an extra step on the Phantom Train, you can actually run into Grasshoppers, where the first encounter you'll get coming out of Moblins will be that 3 Grasshopper encounter instead of the Ghost, which kind of throws everything out of whack and wastes you a lot of time. So it's very, very important to maintain your step route while on the Phantom Train.
Yeah, the Grasshopper encounter also can be very funny when you try to defeat it, and then they berserk you, and then you hit Gao and he runs away. That can also happen, so you definitely don't want Grasshoppers. Man, who's that?
I think it's an imp. Looks like an imp to me. Definitely not a Twitch icon.
No. But yeah, we're getting a short tutorial here on Gaul's abilities. Whenever he leaps into an enemy, he learns that specific enemy as a rage. So he can basically, well, kind of mimic enemies. You will, instead of having a fight command, he has rage, and you can select an enemy that he has learned from, and he will imitate the attacks, and he will also get the status that these enemies have. Like, say an enemy has protect on it, by default, if you select that enemy as the rage, he will get protect, so that's pretty nice. But he's uncontrollable after that, so he'll do things on his own, which is kind of an interesting concept, honestly. It's just a little bit too much, in my opinion. Like, you can... I don't know how many rages there are. There are too many. There are about like 200 something, but yeah. It's a very interesting character to play around with. For a speedrun, doesn't really matter. We're going to be using him because he's reasonably powerful with the rages he starts with for the start of the game, but yeah. So Yaga got first strike out. That's the ideal scenario. because he can run away from the bomb. That's a bit of time saved over LCC here.
LCC also elected to take a safety save before entering the Serpent Trench here, so Yagamoth going for it. Gonna gain a little bit more time there as well.
Yep. I like the going for it strat. It's very unlikely that you get so bad luck that you die here, but it's definitely a potential. There's going to be 4 forced encounters here that can have 2 different enemy formations each. And the first one is particularly interesting. LCC got Actineons. You can also get a single Angle Form, and if you get that, the Angle Form has a chance to cast a spell called Aqua Rake, which will effectively wipe your party almost. Only in LCC's case, only God would have lived, so that could have been bad. What you want to try to do if you get that, you want to actually try to kill it and go before it. So, well, LCC didn't have to worry about that. Ooh, that's very nice. Enemies in the Serpent Trench here also are harder to run away from than the encounters we saw beforehand, so getting a preemptive is even better right here. And LCC already got one, so that's really, really good for him.
Yeah, I think that the difficult to run away from is specifically on the Angle forms, if I recall correctly.
Yep, and they are part of all formations here, except the last encounter has a chance to have 5 enemies in it, but that makes it just as hard to run away from, so yeah. There could be like Actineons and the Jellyfish and a 5-pack in the last one here that's coming up. Ooh, and there's why the Serpent Trench is bad on Yaga stream. Wow, and LCC getting another preemptive. Really nice trench for him. On the other end, however, unfortunately, we're seeing a major time wastes.
Yeah, getting a pincer in the Serpent Trench is really, really nasty because all of the hard-hitting abilities that all the characters have, you have no control over who they target. You have Dispatch on Cyan, you have Aura Bolt on Sabin, and Gao targets whoever he wants as well. So you have to actually do normal fight attacks to clear one side and then run away. So it's definitely a significant time waste to get a pincer in the Serpent Trench.
Yep, and for Yaga, 7 died, so that is reasonably dangerous at this point. Yeah, but we get to Nikea here, and that's actually the end of 7 scenario. However, we were able to buy smoke bombs, which I talked about earlier when we started the scenario, which will make you run away at the start of the battle. Additionally, LCC did buy a second Mithril Pike for Edgar, which is basically just safety or insurance for the Kefka fight.
Now, if you've played this game casually, you might remember lock scenario being long and involved. You gotta steal all these clothes, do all these things, take the cider to the old man, all this crazy stuff. Meet some kind of general and save her. We don't do that. We don't believe in saving generals. We're out of here.
Yep. Just the same thing as LCC already clipped through the ghosts on the train. You can clip through the soldier by opening the menu and then when he's in a specific spot, and then just running through him. It's a pretty nice time save, and it also kind of screws with the game a little bit, but we'll get to see that in a little bit. Now, the thing is that LCC has Lock alone now, and you saw him put Lock in slot too. The reason is we are going to have one battle here with a Gold Bear, and if that's a pincer attack, the second slot in a pincer faces the Gold Bear, so that's why he moved Lock into the second slot, because if you face an enemy, you don't take the double damage from having him attack from the back. And the bear has an attack called Gouge, which can one-shot you almost, so yeah. Want to be safe against that.
I'll be right here. Ooh.
It wasn't me. I swear. Oh my god, is that actually... Oh man! Calculated, as they say. That would have turned the race around, actually. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And that is why you move lockdown.
Yep, if he would have been in slot 1, that would have done 180 damage, and he would have died. So, yeah.
So that's a calculated time loss to move lockdown, just in case that happens, and that's why you do it right there. So we were able to pick up the Thunder Rod in the cave. Tunnel Armor is weak to Thunder. Rods do max damage in this game. It's a level 2 spell cast that always ignores magic defense and does max damage, so rods are ridiculously broken in this game. You'll see more of those in the full game runs.
Yep,
for now.
Even full game runs that glitch do use rods at some point. So yeah, I mean, I guess the sketch still use them. Yeah, they did. It does. Yeah, it has to for ultras at least.
Yeah, for tentacles probably.
Yeah. Alright, LCC's on to the last scenario. We still have Bannon in our party. The same rules apply, so Bannon dies, it's game over. But yeah, this is the second part of the river where the first encounter is forced, and the second and third, well, you can actually avoid the first one as well, but it's incredibly unlikely to do so. There is a way to also, you can reset and then just go onto the and then just not get encounters by setting your NPC value up in a certain way. But in most cases, that loses time over just going for it. So, yeah. Runners will typically not reset right there. LCC got 3 encounters, which actually gives him worse formations right here, interestingly enough. So there's a little bit of time that Yaga could potentially pick up right there.
Yagamoth getting through the Tunnel Armor fight with relative ease. Not quite as exciting as LCC experienced in lock scenario there.
Yep, LCC has had a pretty rough ride there. Huh, speaking of rough ride, it continues. This is actually the one fight where a pincer is really dangerous. If Bannon would have got targeted twice there, he would have actually died. Wow, crazy. That's the only encounter, like, we're back in Narshe, obviously, and that's the only part of Narshe right now where there's enemies that are, like, a bit more difficult to fight than the starting enemies that you see in the other parts of Narshe. Like, the other parts will still have, like, the enemy Terraflot at the start of the run, so... yeah. So, LCC is basically good now. Like, he can't die anymore in this scenario. I would hope, anyways. But, yeah. Yagamoth also got 3 encounters on the river, unfortunately, so you'll also get the slightly worse formations here. Bannon, by the way, also, not that it matters because we have smoke bombs now, but he also runs away very slowly, just like Cyan and Strago do. He has an even I believe an even worse runaway than those two. LCC's almost through here. I think this is the last one, and then he's done with all the scenarios, and the parties will come back together for one final showdown. Now, we didn't actually talk about it, but on Yaga's stream right now, what LCC is finishing up, we have this room here where you have to follow the light, but we kind of ignore that. And well, whenever you ignore the lights, there will be lights surrounding you. But at the spot we try to break that, if you just hold A, you will always break the chain. If you hit a white light there, you will actually get into an encounter, and that would be really bad. But yeah, just holding A will actually circumvent that. You will hit the black light, which actually breaks the chain there, which is really nice. So you can do a little bit of a shortcut through that maze. Ah, yeah, getting a decent amount of preemptives and side attacks here. He's trying his best to catch up. It is worth noting that while smoke bombs are actually really handy as they let you run away, it is still faster to run away very quickly because you don't have the animation time from the smoke bombs. If you can do it. So on preemptives and side attacks, you still just want to run instead of throwing a bomb.
And you might notice a particular character who is normally here is not here.
What do you mean? I see all characters that should be here.
Ah, yes, great General of the Empire, Kutan.
That's how I always use.
That's how I remember the story.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened when I played this game the first time, right?
Sure. So because we never went to Celis and saw the cutscene where we name her, the game actually never initializes her data. And so what happens is, in the beginning of the game, when we're using all the Moogles, all of those Moogles actually occupy the character slots of all the individual characters. And so when the game decides, hey, you know, Celis is with Locke and needs to run up here and join this cutscene and join the party, it still has all the data from the Moogle party, and Kutan just happens to be the Moogle that replaces Celis. So surprise, we have Kutan now.
Yep, and Kutan has all the good properties she had at the start when we got her the first time. You can't equip her, she can't equip Espers and all that good stuff, so yeah. Quite useless, but yeah, it's a big time save, especially for this category, but also for other full game categories, I believe. Sketch for sure. No sketch can be debatable, but there would have to be some major rerouting for that to happen, but yeah. Quite useful. And yeah, we have a 3-party battle coming up here. The Kefka at Narshe battle, the final showdown for this specific category. We're going to have to face up against Kefka, just like with the first 3-party battle. You're supposed to block 3 lanes, fight off all soldiers, and then go after the boss, but we are impatient yet again. We're going to just try to bolt straight for the boss, which is why LCC put all his strongest characters into one party. Oh boy. Okay. I guess he just has his textbooks up for fun.
Yep, swagging a little bit.
Alright, the Strider is more tricky to avoid than it seems, but yeah, LCC moving into the Kefka fight. Now, Kefka, turn 1 and 2 for Kefka are... Ooh. Okay, there's the way trick. Are not very dangerous. On turn 3, he has a 33% chance to cast Ice 2. and that can wipe your party. So what you want to do is you want to start out attacking with Sabin, and then wait trick so that he gets ahead of Kefka. And that way, hopefully, he can circumvent Kefka ever getting a third turn and having that chance to wipe. Should be good here.
Oh, he did get the third turn, but it was just a physical attack.
Hoo-hoo! That could have been bad. But yeah, that's it. 125.16 on his timer. GG! Let's see. Official race time is a 125.17! Which that beats everybody else in the tournament. By a long shot. Wait, actually, no. Just beats like 97% of the runners. No big deal.
Yeah, there's two people it doesn't beat. One of them is you, and the other one's Lean.
Yeah. Alright, and now Yagamoth moving into Kefka here. Same deal. Gonna try to start with Aura Bolt here. Wait trick it. Oh. There we go. And then let's hope that we'd never see a third turn for Kefka. So far so good. Yeah, his call is ahead of Kefka as well. Oh! Well, that's unlucky. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'll close my eyes. I don't want to see it. Okay. Alright, both runners just got a physical for turn 3. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, both runners one turn away from killing him off. But a very respectable time from Yagamoth for somebody who didn't run this game prior to this tournament. Putting up a 126 and a 127 is certainly very, very good.
Yep, GG to Yaga. 127.03 in SRL, so very, very nice time there. GG.
So LCC will move to 3-0. He will join Tina Hex as currently the only 3-0 people. Yagamoth will move to 2-1, and it's going to be pretty tightly contested to make the top 16 to progress to the elimination bracket.
Yep. Just a quick overview. In Swiss, we will have 4 rounds. Everybody who is 4-0 obviously advances to the bracket, and then there is supposed to be, well, it's not going to be a tiebreaker race, but the rest of the spots that will be left over will be contested by a tiebreaker that we take from, I believe, PB at this point, if I remember correctly.
Strength of schedule and then PB if strength of schedule is the same.
Yes, so even if LCC loses his last match, which is going to be against the good opponents, with the times he's put up, he has a pretty decent chance to win a tiebreaker scenario, so he's sitting very pretty right now.
Alrighty, well, GG to both runners. I believe that's about all we have for you today. Looks like coming up on Speed Gaming, we've got a marathon on Speed Gaming 3, Super Mario Odyssey on this channel, Speed Gaming. We've got LTTP Rando on Speed Gaming 2 and Mega Man X on Speed Gaming 4, so pretty active day today. Be sure to check out your favorite games.
For sure.
And that'll be it from us. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in more Final Fantasy VI, there's going to be more races later on RPG Limit Break, so tune into that if you'd like. And hope everybody has a great day.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. It was a pleasure.